Howdy, so this is the video on moving the front axle forward in my 93 YJ and kind of what is required to do that, so we'll get right into it. So if I'm entirely honest, I didn't film a lot of it. I had a buddy over helping me out and it was kind of hard to navigate, like telling him what to do and stuff. I had to put on a more steering box relocation mount. This moves the steering box forward about 1 inch. If anybody here has not done this and they have their YJ with the stock steering box mount, this will kind of put it into perspective how much it moves it forward. So the front of the box here is in front of the bolt for the shackles. So moves the box forward about 1 inch. That's the most noticeable way I can put it. I did install this steering box brace here as well. That wasn't too hard. But the steering box relocation mount itself was very hard and very tricky. There were some bolts in some tight places. Bolts in tight places. Words are hard today. That were, well, not the most fun to tighten up. But anyway, so probably glad I didn't get any of that on video anyway, but that moved the box forward 1 inch. That way my pitman arm would clear my tie rod when I move the front axle forward. So basically my spring perches had multiple holes in them. As you can see, this one up here also does. This is just a spring perch for spring over. I took my centering pin and I put it in this further back hole, and that just moved my front axle forward about 1 inch. And that improved my approach angle significantly, and it also got the front tires kind of in the center of the wheel well, and as far as I can tell, the tires don't rub in the back of the fender anymore. One thing that I really hate about YJs is they seem to have like an overbite. The stock ones especially, it's super noticeable, but the front fender flare will hang over like 6 inches in front of the tire, and I think it looks ugly. I mean, YJs, in my opinion, are the best looking Jeeps when modified a little bit, but yeah, so this kind of fixed that problem. It helps with the approach angle, and the steering box relocation mount made the steering box overall just a lot stronger. So I'll kind of get into that process. This video is not in depth at all. This is just kind of what it took. So there we go. Whoa, look at that. He changed and the Jeep moved. So before we get started, big thanks to Flawed Off-Road. His channel really helped me. My steering shaft, I'm guessing like all stock steering shafts, it would not move. It was stuck in its stock position, stock length, if you will. And I couldn't get it to come off the box just because, I mean, it wouldn't move. So I watched his video on how to fix that, and it fixed it. Mine actually came off much easier than his did and started moving a lot easier than his did. But big thanks to him. He also showed me that the stock shaft would be plenty long enough for the steering box relocation mount. So he saved me like $250, so thanks to him. I'm gonna tag his channel in the description. So once I got the steering box relocation mount all bolted up, I needed to unbolt the front axle, so I went ahead and put the Jeep on jack stands and then unbolted the U-bolt so that I could move it forward. The next portion of film will be me building these spring hangers. These are for spring over, so there's gonna be a few differences. The spring under spring hangers will be notched for your shock mount here. These are not the original shock mounts. I guess I could have moved them, but I decided it would be easier to cut a little bit off that spring hanger to make sure it clears there. That being said, this next portion of film will be making those. I do have a better explanation and a little bit better visual later of why I did that though. All right, so these are my original spring hangers. These have this sway bar mount right here. I'm gonna try and cut that off and weld it onto my new spring hangers because these have the multiple holes for the alignment pin. But then once I get that on, that cut off and that welded on each one, it'll be time to put the axle back in. All right, so at first I decided I was gonna try and cut along there and cut those welds out. Couldn't quite get to all of them, so I decided I was just going to cut the end off and I'll weld it to the side of the other spring hanger. I hope it's strong enough. If not, oh well, I'll figure something out. But yeah, just got this one to do now. All right, so now that the spring hangers are made, all that's left to do is move the front axle forward. This will be fun. First try. I'm gonna use my phone right now as a flashlight, but you guys are stealing this. Don't even know what hole I got. Oh, I got it right now. Okay. Oh no, it just dropped right in. Just drop right into them. Perfect. Yeah. And now front axle is officially moved forward an inch. We got about 15 more to come in the future. All right, so I'm not really sure if you can see, but it is very close to the shock mount and the shock mount bolt right there, with the shock bolt. That being said, I did have to grind them down. It's not the end of the world. I'm in a very uncomfortable position right now, laying underneath the Jeep. So I'll get a move on. All right, so by this point, I had gotten the axle bolted back in. It was moved forward an inch. The spring hangers were on. They were all bolted up. I just need to trim down the U-bolt, so that's what I'm doing right now. All right, so now that the Jeep is on the ground, all I have left to do is bolt the sway bar back on. All right, but that's about it. So in conclusion, to do this, at least I needed, but you'll probably need as well, spring perches with multiple holes for your alignment pin, a steering box relocation mount. I'm not sure if with stock steering you'll need one, just because the stock steering is so small, but I definitely would need one with my 1-ton steering. So perches, steering box relocation mount, and spring hangers with multiple alignment pins, holes for your alignment pin, and a new front drive shaft. I replaced mine because mine looked a little sketchy with it, but that should be it. Thank you so much for watching, and that's an outro.